I was so fortunate to find, this book, Organizational Physics, The Science of Growing a Business by Lex Sisney. So, the DYOJO Podcast. Is there a follow-up book to Organizational Physics?
Yeah, I'm working on a book right now, and I'm not sure what the title is, but that should be out in 2021.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to getting that out there. It's really cool.
Yeah. What's your process? Do you try to write every day, or do you write as you get inspired, or you're a structure guy, so I'm assuming you have a discipline?
Some of us are motivated by the positive,
yep,
and others by the negative.
Sure.
And I have a commitment to write every day for a certain amount of time, 5 days a week, or I have to do a donation to a politician I just despise.
Okay.
And I haven't missed a day of writing. Like I just,
it's awesome.
So,
yeah.
Well,
you mentioned.
Anyway, I'm being sincere, but also joking around a little bit. It's like we have to sometimes come up with tricks, hard work that we might not ordinarily want to do, but you just got to grind it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Seth Godin.
I have no memory of this place.
And I then started to kind of write the book, and I remember I was in a conversation with Seth Godin. I sent him a draft, and he's like, "There's some really amazing concepts here, but you have like five books here in one." Every bestseller has to only really have one key concept. He goes, "What do you want this book to do? You want it to be a bestseller, or do you like be a tool for your consulting practice?" And I was really clear I needed it to be a tool for my consulting practice, and the way I think is kind of very sequential way, and so that the book was just born out of that. Desire to teach these concepts in my consulting work.
I remember reading some of his stuff early on. He's like, if you want to be a writer, write every day. And and his thing was too, of course, when you start out writing, it's going to be terrible,
Nice try. No, correction. Terrible try.
And it's going to be awful. But if that boat is, if you're in motion, you can refine it and get feedback and change things. And so, my son and I were talking about that just yesterday. Like the fear of failure is worse than failure, because failure you can actually learn from and adapt, like you mentioned. Whereas if you're fearful and you don't do anything, you have nothing to improve.
By definition, failure is feedback.
Yeah, that's good. Well, man, Lex, it's been really good catching up with you. I wholeheartedly endorse organizational physics. Like we said, more of a framework, a structural level. And any other closing thoughts on what we talked about?
I would say the principles of organizational physics work at every level. Yeah. And so for smaller business, there's assessments, there's articles. It's a way of thinking that, for certain individual can be really transformative, very helpful. Yeah. So if you're running a smaller business, don't have to be scared by the, larger dollar volumes. The principles still work at all levels. So
well, obviously, if they wanted to reach out to you directly, you have the Organizational Physics website, which again, like I said, you do a great job of, putting in some current applications of the principles and those kinds of things. And then the book's 2021.
Yep.
Well, great, man. Well, I'm glad to see you're healthy, and thank you so much for spending some time today.
You too, John. Thanks for reaching out. Keep up the great work.
Awesome. Thank you.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.